Hey everyone, welcome back to Glass Seats. This is Viddy.
And my name is Mrinal, and in this episode, we are taking every single team from the NHL, and we're going to throw all of their free agency / draft transactions into an ultimate tier list.
Yeah.
So we're going to be quick. We're going to go through every single team, starting with the East, then going through the West, and put them onto our list here, and then we'll show you the list at the end.
Yeah. And also because we're super technically advanced and really deep in with it, we have a very intricate tier list. Yeah. The top is crispy AF. The second is saucy. Mid is mid. Kind of bad is, excuse me, what the F is this? And the last one is pain with a lowercase p and a period at the end.
Very appropriate.
Yes. So if anyone needs a GM or an insider...
Yeah, assistant to the GM. You make all the charts.
Yeah. The tier list.
All right, let's get started.
Yeah.
Boston Bruins.
Mm-hmm.
They were lacking center depth last year, and they addressed it now. They got a lot of centers.
Yeah. I mean, is it a little too much or too late? I don't know.
This is just kind of throwing in every center that you could find, right? The big one being Elias Lindholm from Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
But, we were waiting for Boston to collapse last year.
Yeah.
And I think the window has passed.
To collapse? To
collapse. I think they're going to be better this year, right? They've addressed their center depth.
I feel like
they traded away from a position of strength, which was goaltending and wingers, to upgrade their centers. And they still have a Jeremy Swayman on the books.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
But
so I want to put them in the second tier. What do you think?
The saucy tier?
Saucy.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. So I'll agree with that.
All right.
Saucy right there. All right, on to
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts.
I mean, it's hard for anyone it's hard for Buffalo to attract any free agents nowadays, and they did lose out on Skinner. They lost out on Jones. Again, they did pick up a couple key acquisitions at the trade deadline this past season, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's great, honestly. I don't know. I don't see them all of a sudden becoming a perennial playoff team at this point. Mm-hmm. Again, they've had some stacked lineups in the past too that ended up all winning cups. So I don't know what the case is with Buffalo, but I feel like this is a kind of bad situation in my opinion.
Yeah, same. I mean, I like some of their moves. I like Beck Malenstein. I like Sam Lafferty, but it's not enough compared to what the rest of the division did.
Yeah.
It's 365 days later, we're in the same position.
Yeah.
You didn't do as much as Ottawa and Detroit did.
Yeah, and I feel like this is also just Buffalo having this reputation at this point.
Yeah, so I got to put them in the excuse me tier.
Yeah, I'm going to put that there too. All right, 2 for 2.
Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, brutal offseason for them, or free agency for them. They did pick up a couple guys that are of value, but they also lost a lot of good guys.
Yeah, look at the names that they lost. Jake Gensel, Stefan Nosen, Brett Pesce, Brady Shea, Teuvo Teravainen.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's a tough... I mean, yeah, I don't know. They got ghosts. They got Sean Walker's a pretty decent signing. But for what they lost, it's brutal.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I got to put them in the excuse me tier.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
You also didn't address your main problem from last year, which was goaltending.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know.
I can't see them being better than last year.
Are they all in on Freddie Anderson again? Or
they have to be, right?
I mean, I suppose.
They didn't get a goaltender.
Unless they re-sign Ranta, but
even then, I feel like Freddie would be your starter.
Yeah.
So it's got to be Freddie.
Sorry, Carolina.
Columbus.
Yeah. I don't know how they got Sean Monahan. Probably Johnny Gaudreau called him up and be like, hey, do you want to play again? They're reunited with Jack Johnson again. He is 37, so it's not the elite Jack Johnson by any means. I don't know. It's okay. They picked up some depth pieces for sure. Sean Monahan is a decent signing, and hopefully him and Gaudreau can figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't see them being significantly better.
Columbus's goal right now is just to get Johnny Gaudreau and Patrick Laine performing, right?
Yeah.
So Sean Monahan helps with that. Dylan Gambrell, the other center they signed, also helps with that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not bad, but it's not going to move the needle super hard.
Yeah.
But, there's always... Columbus has a lot of prospects in AHL talent as well that they could kind of help out with here. So I want to put them in the mid tier.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not bad, but
I don't see this moving the needle too much, but I don't see it moving backwards either. So
I see them improving, but just not that much.
Yeah.
All right, Detroit. I think this is controversial.
Yeah, I mean, So here's the thing. I do like the fact that they re-signed Kane.
Yeah.
Was it a 1 year, 2 year deal? I don't remember.
1 year, I think.
Okay. And Tarasenko's inked for 2. I like that signing too. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what their goalie situation is. I know Lyon is the main guy, but then they picked up Talbot and Campbell, and it's just like I don't know what the
neither
situation
one
is.
inspires confidence. To be honest,
and especially after the season Jack Campbell, or 2 seasons maybe.
Jack Campbell has had a couple bad seasons. Cam Talbot was terrible in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so it doesn't really inspire confidence.
And then you lost Ghost too, and Jake Wallman for literally nothing.
Yeah, and you lost Robbie Fabry.
Yeah, that too.
A lot of your depth is kind of gone, and you brought in Tarasenko.
Yeah,
it just feels like you're improvising a little bit.
Throwing shit at the wall. Yeah. There's a lot of like RFAs that need signing.
Yeah, all the RFAs, if you don't get those signed or, you ruin those relationships, you have a chance to have a really bad offseason here.
Yeah.
Like Lucas Raymond, Moritz Seider, and Joe Velino all need contracts.
Yeah.
Like it could be tough. I'm
going to put this in the, I want to put it in the pain category, but because there's some redemption, I'll put it in the category above.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Okay.
I was going to say mid, but I'm okay with the kind of bad category.
Yeah. This could potentially be pretty bad, though.
Yeah. All right. Our Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers.
Does it matter? They won a cup, right? Like,
do you think they can repeat? That's the question, right?
They did lose Montour, and I think that's their biggest loss.
They lost a lot.
They lost OEL too, I guess.
Yeah, OEL, Vladimir Tarasenko, Ryan Lomberg, and Kevin Stenlund.
Mm-hmm.
They were all pretty big pieces.
Right.
They do keep Kulikov, and they extend Lundell.
Yeah.
Which are
and
nice.
Reinhardt. They kept Reinhardt, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
Or they re-signed Reinhardt.
I'll put them in the good tier.
The saucy tier?
The saucy tier.
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough. Yeah.
Montreal.
Off to Montreal.
Pretty quiet.
Yeah. I mean, I think they had a really good shining in terms of re-signing.
Yeah.
Because their biggest headline is, Slav is now there for 8 years, I think.
Yes.
And if that deal pans out to be a good deal, like a team-friendly deal, which some people are, right now it's a gamble, but it could pan out to be that.
Yeah.
Their entire top line, I believe, is under 25 mil, which is insane. So that could be very, very good. But other than that, in terms of like drafting and signing free agents, it's...
I mean, they had a really good draft, I'll be honest. Demidov, getting him at 5th overall is kind of a steal.
Right. They did draft 5th overall.
Yeah, he was going to be top 3, but because he's Russian, there's that question mark there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that works out, it's going to be great for them.
Yeah.
So I'm fine putting them in the saucy tier.
Yeah, I
think
with that,
I'm okay with their moves so far.
Okay.
New Jersey was super busy.
I thought they did well.
I
thought they did pretty well. They reunited with Stefan Nason. Brendan Dillon is a good signing. I like that one too.
They totally revamped their defense.
Yeah.
Right? A bunch of defensemen out, bunch of defensemen in, and I like the new look.
Yeah. Tomas Tatar did play for them before,
yes,
right?
He's also coming back.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I thought they did well. They got Jacob Markstrom. I mean, that was a little bit before the July 1st, but I thought they did well. They did lose a couple pieces here and there. They lost Marino.
But I'm not too worried about those pieces they lost. They kind of replaced them.
Yeah.
Brett Pesce is in. Brendan Dillon is in.
I don't think losing Kakinen either is a problem because they had a bunch of goalies.
Yeah, and they got Markstrom.
Yeah.
So their whole defense has been revamped. Their offense was already good.
Yeah.
I expect them to be better next year. I'd be okay putting them in crispy.
I agree. I was like, I thought they had
really
a very
good.
solid offseason. Yeah. Good job, Jersey.
New York Islanders. Lou Lamoriello does not like to make news, and he does not.
They got Duke, I guess.
And they re-signed Mike Riley.
Yeah.
Put him in mid. Let's move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing to talk about here.
Yeah.
New York Rangers.
Yeah. Riley Smith trade was interesting. Was that a cap dump by Pittsburgh, or what was?
We'll get to Pittsburgh, but I think Pittsburgh is finally ready to face the music.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. I think Alex Wenberg, he was decent for them. I think it was fine though. Like I don't think they're really losing out on too much.
I mean, they're being a little brutal here. They send out Jack Roslovic. They send Barclay Goodrow down on waivers.
Yeah.
Who ends up in San Jose.
Yeah. And there's a whole drama thing with Trouba right now as well.
Yeah, there's Trouba trade. They're being a little brutal here, and I think losing the way they have in the past couple of years is starting to get to them.
Yeah.
So far they haven't done too much damage.
Yeah.
But I would hope they keep Trouba.
Yeah.
I think he fits the identity of that team.
I think it's for what he makes. It's a lot. I think that's the issue right now. So, and some of the controversial hits too as well. But
I don't know.
I want to say mid to like kind of bad.
Throw them in mid. I think there's still too many question marks around New York.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll agree with that.
Ottawa Senators.
Well, they got Linus, and you have to give flowers for that. They got Noah Gregor. It's a pretty good signing too.
Outside of Linus Ullmark, I don't really like any of their other moves.
Yeah.
Like, they brought in like Nick Jensen, Noah Gregor, but look at who they lost. Yeah, they lost a lot of their youth.
They lost Matthew Joseph. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, man.
And they lost Jacob Chikrin. They lost Parker Kelly.
Yeah.
A lot of their youth is gone.
As we mentioned. Korpisalo is gone. Oh, I guess he was part of the trade.
Korpisalo was part of the Ullmark trade.
Yeah.
But, the only one they kept on to was Shane Pinto.
So I'm going to put him in a tier below mid.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I was like, this is...
If it wasn't for the Ullmark trade, I would have put you in the bottom. Let's be real.
Yeah, I was going to say, the Ullmark trade is like nice, but also like everything else around it. I don't know.
But Ullmark is good enough that he could just carry your team to the playoffs himself.
Yeah. It's somewhere between mid and excuse me, WTF is this? So
yeah, but I don't want to put them in mid.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
So let's put them in the excuse me tier.
Let's do that.
Flyers also did barely anything.
Is that mid or bad? Because they're not like...
I want to put them in... Yeah, I want to put them bad. Put them in the bottom.
The pain?
Yeah, like...
Because they need that?
They need some work. They missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
You should be doing something.
Yeah, I guess Cam Atkinson left too.
Yeah, like either clearing some cap space or, something. Getting some youth in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we didn't include their AHL signings here, but from what I remember, there wasn't anything to write home about.
Yeah. Fair enough. For a team that's rebuilding, this is an awfully quiet free agency. I'd
expected something. So put them in the pain.
Not great, yeah.
Pittsburgh.
I do like the acquisition of Sebastian, not Carolina. Sebastian Aho, by the way. It's the Islanders.
The other Sebastian Aho.
Yeah. Kevin Hayes. It's okay. I don't think it's good, though.
This, to me, seems like Pittsburgh is ready to face the music, that they're not the dominant force.
Yeah.
They are revamping to not necessarily younger, but more stable players, while their youth comes up.
Yeah.
Of course, you still have Crosby and Malkin. So this seems to me someone like stabilizing the blue line, stabilizing some of the depth.
Yeah.
And then you'll go from there, right?
Yeah.
And see where the young pieces can fit in. They make some room in the top 6 by sending out Riley Smith, who they didn't really need anyway. Sending out P.O. Joseph as well, making some room in their defensive core. So... I'm excited to see what happens in Pittsburgh, but I think we're starting to see the next era of Penguins.
I agree. Yeah.
So if we look at it with that lens, I'm okay putting them in the saucy tier.
Oh, I was going to put them in the mid tier. I was like, at that point, like, what about all the players like Carlson and Letang, Malkin, Crosby? Like, what?
Oh, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, what about those guys? Or Carlson especially just came in.
Yeah.
So I thought they were going
you're expecting them to really go for it.
Yeah.
So the fact that they have to rebuild is not a good look. You're saying. Or retool a little.
In my opinion, that's how I see it. That's why I want to say mid.
I can respect that. Put them in mid.
Mid, yeah.
Tampa. This has to go
also a controversial one.
Automatically has to go in pain, right? Just because of losing Stamkos.
So it depends how you look at it. Yes, they're reunited with McDonough. They got depth players in Cam Atkinson and stuff. They got Jake Gensel, the top prize, I guess you want to call it,
free agency,
except maybe for Stamkos. But yeah, you lost your captain.
Not just your captain, your longest serving captain.
You lost your best player in franchise history,
who brought you to 2 cups and 3 finals. I don't really care.
I'm putting this in pain. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter what else you did.
Yeah,
right?
I was like,
do you want to talk about Zegmas Girgensons?
Yeah.
Or do you want to talk about the fact you lost Stamkos?
We'll have another episode on this specifically just for dedicated to Tampa. But yeah, I'm saying pain. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Toronto. Well, they no longer need defensemen.
I guess. Yeah, I was like, at least they stacked up. I think losing Bertuzzi will hurt a little bit because he was one of the 2 guys, or maybe 2-3 guys that actually showed heart in that playoffs. I do like the fact that they re-signed Domi because he was one of those other guys.
That was nice.
I think that is going to help them a lot more than they think. They got defense. They got a couple good hard workers and stuff like that. But I think overall it feels mid to me. I don't know.
I'd put them in saucy.
You think?
Because I think, everyone's expecting a Mitch Marner trade, right?
Oh, that's right.
I don't think so.
That's right. Okay.
I think they're going to keep that as offense, go in with a revamped defense and say, this is it, balls to the wall year, all in year.
Okay, I can respect that. Yeah.
So I think
get that.
I'd say it's saucy. I say
Yeah.
this is Brad Treliving saying we're just going to go all for it this
Mhm.
year. We'll figure out where the chips fall later.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I can
have
respect
stacked
that too.
offense, stacked defense, and you re-sign Joseph Wool. That's your gamble.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think they're just going to go for it.
They probably need a goalie, huh? At some point.
I mean, Joseph
I don't know if they
Wool
can
showed
afford
like
one.
there were some good flashes.
That's true.
So if he can hold it this year,
Yeah.
then he's great.
That's true.
If he doesn't, then I expect an early season trade for
Yeah.
Toronto.
Yeah. Understandable. Okay. Fair enough.
Washington Capitals.
This is the let's support Ovechkin and get him to the Gretzky mark, right?
And, they bring in Pierre-Luc Dubois
Mhm.
out of Los Angeles without any retention, surprisingly.
Yeah. I mean, they got rid of Darcy Kemper. Two
Yeah.
bad contracts for
I guess,
each other.
yeah. So, I mean, but it's very obvious. They brought in a bunch of playmaker forwards, and they're hoping to get Ovi some goals here, it looks like to me.
Yeah.
So, put him in mid.
Mhm.
It's fine.
I agree with that.
It's whatever.
There's one franchise goal right now, it sounds like, for them.
It's to get Ovechkin to beat the Gretzky record.
So that being said, I'll respect it.
All right. Anaheim Ducks, moving to the West.
Yeah.
Well, we all know I went on a rant against the Ducks, so put them in pain.
Pain? Okay, fair enough. I was going to say, at least they got Robbie Fabry, they got Brian Dumoulin.
Yeah, okay. But let's be real. You're rebuilding. The most important thing is the draft. You had the 3rd overall pick, and you went off the board again.
What if it works out, though? I mean,
this is
right
not the
now.
time to risk it.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough.
You've
That's
been
true.
spending too long in a rebuild.
That is true.
And it's not like you went off the board because you had something else planned.
Yeah.
You just brought in, the biggest piece you brought in was Robbie Fabry.
Yeah.
Who's not going to move the needle for you.
Yeah.
And, yes, you have a lot of young players, right? I guess your point in picking Beckett Seneke, who was projected 13th, was drafted number 3,
Mhm.
is that this would complete out your top 6 with Leo Carlson, Trevor Zegras, and Troy Terry, etc. Right? So that's the thought process. But you could have done that with any of the other players who were supposed to go in the top 5.
Yeah,
right?
why don't you draft a higher pick and then go for via trade, find someone else to fill out that top 6. I don't know.
I don't know, man. It
put
feels
him
like
in
you're
pain,
extending your rebuild more than it has to
Yeah,
be.
it doesn't you had an opportunity. I don't know.
I've lost faith in Anaheim. Put them in pain.
Yeah, hindsight is 2020, but it feels like they're just not trying as hard as they should.
Yeah.
So
Calgary.
I don't know what to make of this, really.
I mean, good
I really
draft.
don't.
They got
Great,
Zane
no,
Parik,
good draft. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
which was a highly touted prospect.
Yeah.
They bring in Kevin Ball and Anthony Mantha, who are all really good players, to get Ryan Lomberg from Florida.
Yeah.
But they lose out on Markstrom and Andrew Mangiapane.
I mean, was Markstrom the guy they needed though? Because
Markstrom wanted out.
Yeah, exactly. And when the guy's already not there, mentally committed, and he's there to win in the playoffs, and Calgary's not there.
You're relying on your youth goaltending to step up now. You have Dan Vladar, you have Dustin Wolf, who need to step up. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad though.
Yeah,
I don't think it's bad.
I'd put them in saucy.
Yeah, I agree.
Chicago.
Great draft, obviously, when you have 2nd overall, of course.
So draft was fine, but it looks like they did the same strategy as last year. Just get a bunch of veterans in, short-term deals.
Yeah.
And
I think they
solidify.
did even better this offseason, though.
Yeah, these are better veterans than last year's. Pat Maroon is a big player. Alec Martinez is a big player.
Is it wrong to
Brody.
say? Damn, yeah. Bertuzzi and Teravainen reunion. I might put this in crispy.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do it.
No, I might put this
in.
I was like, this is a very good offseason. If I'm a Chicago fan, I have hope again.
They're vets, and they're going to be slightly better than last year.
Yeah.
That's all you wanted, right?
Yeah.
Bedar's going to take another step. If Levshunov plays this year, he's going to take a step.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to see, but
sorry, go ahead.
They didn't lose too much either to get this done. So
Yeah.
great moves from Chicago.
Yeah. Surprised that no one picked up Jacob Magna or Tyler Johnson for that matter. But, there's time, I guess. So.
They still could.
Yeah.
Colorado. There wasn't much they could do. They were right up against the cap.
Yeah.
But they did get some young players in with Parker Kelly and Eric Branston that I do like. They did lose a lot, though.
Yeah.
Yakov Trenin, Andrew Cogliano, who's retiring.
And Duhaime.
That was
Duhaime's
part of the big one.
Duhaime and Walker were both of their bigger
agents, free agents.
Yeah, agent, or bigger trade deadline acquisitions and stuff like that.
They do extend Jonathan Drouin, though, who's looked really good in Colorado.
Yeah, only a year, but do you think they're taking a year at a year?
I think so at this point, right? They don't have the cap to do anything more.
That's true, yeah.
So, I mean, I put them in mid. I don't know what you expected from Colorado.
I agree. I would put it in mid,
I think they're going to be about the same as last year, but I think their cup contending days are past.
Wow, that's a bold prediction.
Playoffs for sure.
Okay.
Cups, I don't know.
I mean, you never know. Sometimes it'll be the Nathan McKinnon show and the rest is history, but yeah, it's hard to say.
Dallas, very busy. Bring in some young guys, some old guys.
Matt Dumba to Dallas is so funny.
Yeah.
After all the cheap shots from his Minnesota days.
Yeah.
Oh, man. They did lose Ty Dellandrea, Roddick Fasca.
Yeah. Losing Tanev is going to hurt.
At least they got Duchesne back on the book. I thought I would have put this in pain if they lost Duchesne.
Yeah.
He was so good for them. I'm sorry, but like they could not have let him go.
I like their moves. I think they're going to contend again next year.
I agree.
So
I'll put it at Saucy.
Yeah. Agreed. Edmonton.
Interesting because no GM. Or
interim GM.
Interim GM. Yeah, let's put it that way.
We asked for someone to save Jeff Skinner. And somebody did.
Somebody blessed us. Hey, that's a good deal, dude. $3 million for a guy who can put up 30 to even 40 goals sometimes.
Yeah. You send out Warren Fogle, you send out Sam Carrick, but you bring in Jeff Skinner and you bring in Victor Arvidsson.
Yeah.
I think you have to think those are upgrades.
Yeah. I'll put this as Saucy. I'm not gonna lie. I'll say Saucy.
Should we put it in Crispy? They're gonna be a cup contender again, aren't they? Isn't that
let's put it in Crispy. I was looking at the re-signs too. Yeah, they got some
held on to Connor
re-signs.
Brown, held on to Adam Henrique. They did hold on to Corey Perry, so I guess they're not going to win. But they might make the final again.
God, all right, fine. Crispy. Other than that, yeah. Good job, Edmonton. Even with no GM or interim GM, good job.
LA Kings. Their biggest win was getting out of that Dubois contract.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's enough to put it in Crispy.
Yeah. They bring back Darcy Kemper.
Yeah.
Warren Fogel's a good piece. They send out Cam Talbot. So they have revamped their back end a little bit of depth. But other than getting out of the Dubois contract, which they signed in the first place, I don't think there's much to write home about here.
I'm putting this in mid or maybe one below.
I'd be okay with mid.
Mid? Okay.
I mean, I expect them to be a first round exit again. Right?
Damn, that's... what is LA doing besides rebranding?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Minnesota. Zeev Buim, their draft pick. Good pick.
Yeah, great pick.
Projected number 4, and they got him at 12.
Yeah, I thought Anaheim was going to take this guy.
Yeah, I'm the same. So,
great draft. I would be very happy about that. But I don't know. Like, I guess Yakov Trenin was impressive for the Avalanche. I don't care what anyone says. That man worked harder than other people will give him credit for. Let's say. I don't know how good Mason Shaw was. I didn't really keep up with him or anything. So
yeah, it just seems like a shuffling of depth a little bit.
Yeah, they signed I think it was 8 players on July 1st to kind of minor contracts. So
they're waiting for youth to come in.
Yeah, I don't know if it's mid or Saucy because I want to say Saucy because of that draft pick, but mid because again they're waiting for the youth to come in. So
yeah, I'd put him in mid.
Mid, okay, that's fair enough. Yeah,
I don't think Buim's going to play this year. So
no, probably not. But still, Anaheim, what the hell are you doing?
Nashville Predators.
Yeah,
I think they won free agency.
Do we need to talk about this?
Stamkos, Marchessault, Brady Shea, Scott Wedgwood, all-star players.
I needed to put a tier above Crispy and
the Nashville tier.
The Nashville, Splashville. I saw was a term going around.
Look, they got all these players, and all they lost. The biggest player they lost was Jason Zucker.
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
They won this. Put him in Crispy.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about this.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
San Jose Sharks. I want to put them in Crispy just because of Celebrini.
We can hope. We can hope. But I was surprised they even got Toffoli or Wenberg. Or Walman for that matter.
Walman they got almost for free.
Pretty much got him for free. Yeah.
One thing I'm liking about Mike Greer as GM is he's not afraid to trade within the division.
Yeah. Yeah. Why was that such a problem for so long?
Because you don't want to make your rivals good.
Anaheim seems to be doing that themselves. So.
Yeah. The Sharks do have a lot of pending contracts, but if none of them sign, we might be okay.
And I think Greer straight up said, hey, we're not re-signing a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Which I'm also fine with. Yeah. I don't want to say crispy, but
the only thing that could have made this better was if they confirmed Celebrini would play next year.
Yeah.
It's still a question if he's going to go back to college.
I'll put it in Saucy then.
Put him in Saucy.
Yeah.
Seattle.
This is probably gonna give me some shit, but I think both the Montour and Stevenson contracts are gonna be great.
Yeah.
Are they gonna be great in 5 years from now? Couldn't tell you.
But this year,
But right now, I think these are very good contracts, though.
absolutely. You know, they're both upgrades. Brandon Montour is a big upgrade.
Huge.
I think this is good for Seattle. I'd put him in Saucy.
Yeah, I agree. For right now, it's saucy. It could age horribly, but if I'm a Kraken fan, I'm excited about this.
It could also age really well if they go deep this year.
True.
You know,
You got a gamble in your hands.
St. Louis gets younger.
Yeah, and I think they kind of needed to. They did. Yeah, they missed the playoffs this past season.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the last time they made it was 22. Was it 22? I can't remember. But either way, they made a splash in 22, and then they ran into that gauntlet of Avalanche team.
Mm-hmm.
Still managed to get 2 wins against them. But I think getting younger is necessary at this point.
Yes.
Especially with the departures of like Pietrangelo, O'Reilly. A lot of those guys left a while ago.
That Cub team is gone.
Yeah, so it's time to focus on getting youth into the system, and I think they did a decent job here.
Yeah, I like Texier. You know, I like P.O. Joseph.
Yeah,
Good
they
youth.
got both Josephs.
They got both of them,
yeah. Is this mid or saucy? I want.
I'll leave it up to you.
I'm putting in saucy. I think this is a good. I think this is trending in the right direction. They didn't really lose that much for it, so.
Utah in their first free agency.
Yeah.
You know, I was looking through these when I was making the notes, and I was like, if only Arizona could have done this, which they could have.
They could have. They just had owners that
I know
didn't give a fuck.
But it feels good to see this team actually care about winning.
Yeah.
You know? They draft TJ Ginla, who's going to be a future superstar.
Yeah.
They get in Mikhail Sergachev and John Marino, who's already going to be your number one pair on defense. And then they bring in Ian Cole and Kevin Stenlund as well to get some vets in there. I like these moves.
I'm putting it in Crispy. I think this is an amazing offseason. And like they had so much cap space and they needed to re-sign all their defense. And you got Sergachev and Marino.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hats
Awesome.
off. Great job.
And you'll have Connor Ingram in net. So your back end is pretty solid.
Yeah. I mean, Utah, like all of a sudden, once you actually start caring about this franchise, amazing what you could do with it. But
all right. Vancouver. Little rough, I think.
I mean, I don't know. It just felt like everyone either moved from Vancouver to Boston or Boston to Vancouver.
Yeah. So I mean, losing Lindholm, like I get he wasn't fantastic in Vancouver.
Yeah.
But I feel like you could have kept him.
Mm-hmm.
Your center depth seems a little lacking now.
Yeah.
But you do bring in Jake DeBrusk.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
Danton Heinen's going to be good too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're definitely still going to be a playoff team. But
are they better?
Are they better? I don't know. They might just be better because you'll get a healthy Thatcher Demko.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't count, though.
Yeah.
That's not a free agency
thing.
thing.
Zadorov on the back end is also going to be tough.
Yeah. But DeBrusk, I mean.
But DeBrusk,
yeah. Like.
Put him in mid, maybe?
Yeah, I agree. I was like, I think they got better. I think they got worse, but they also got better.
Yeah.
So let's put it at a net 0. So mid.
Mm-hmm. Vegas loses a lot of players.
Shafted.
The names Vegas lost: Anthony Mantha, Alec Martinez, Jonathan Marchessault, Paul Cotter, Michael Amadio, Chandler Stevenson, and Logan Thompson.
LTIR can't save you this time.
That's a lot of players from their cup team.
Yeah.
So you know, I was gonna say the one above Payne. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Because they did bring in Samsonov, so at least your back end is going to be fine.
And he's going to turn it to God because, you know, Vegas effect.
Yeah, true.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah.
You know, because it's Vegas, I don't see them tanking completely.
Yeah, I
agree. Because they have that reputation.
Yeah.
So maybe just by their reputation, I won't put them in pain.
The same way we should have had a tier for Nashville at the very top, in between what the hell is this and Payne, we should have put Vegas right there. So, yeah.
All right. Last but not least, the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
Losing Sean Monahan, Brendan Dillon, Tyler Toffoli, and Laurent Brossoit. And Nate Schmidt. That's a little rough.
And your coach, I guess.
And your coach, yeah. But Winnipeg, you know, is always going to be tough on free agency just because of what Winnipeg is, you know?
Yeah.
But they do bring in some names. Kapel Kakkonen comes in to goaltend. Not that it matters.
Yeah.
Because you have Connor Hellebuck, Jarrett Anderson Dolan, Mason Shaw. I'd put them in. What the hell is this?
Yeah, I agree. It was like, it's either that or Payne.
Yeah, like you lost too many names.
Yeah. All right. Here's our final tier list. Go ahead and fucking flame us in the comments below.
Let us know how we fucked it up.
Yeah.
And we'll full screen it right at the end here and post for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Boom. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, this was fun.
This is a lot of movement this year compared to other years.
Yeah, I think this was a good time to actually do this tier list because the last time I remembered this much movement was like 2019.
Yeah,
I think it feels like
it's been a while.
So yeah, it's been like 5 years since there's this exciting win off season. So great times or bad times. I don't know. It depends who you support.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Do let us know what your thoughts are in the comments and hit subscribe if you want more of Glass Seats. We have episodes out every week. We'll see you next one.
Bye.